again, everybody. It's Kathy, the Classically Minded Mom. Today I wanted to talk to you about a great resource that I found, and I will post links below. I actually stumbled upon, I'm trying to think how I stumbled upon this family. It's the website, I believe, is the Ten Boom, like Corey Ten Boom Institute and .com, and then they have sort of moving their blog and information over to books you'll love. Books you'll the contraction for you will love.com. Really have a wonderful list of YouTube videos that they do, and going through Mortimer Adler's How to Mark a Book, How to Read a Book. They've got a lot of great resources. I really encourage you to subscribe to both of those YouTube channels that they have. The family just seems to be an awesome family, very liberal arts oriented, very um, I know the mom talks about commonplace books and what she keeps in her commonplace books. She does online book clubs, which I am so ready to join. She does, like I said, talks about Mortimer Adler's views on reading a book. One of the things that she's done that I totally admire is that she's gone through Euclid's geometry with a mentor and marked her book for that and taken notes and all that. And I think I got really inspired. Everything that's been going on in my life this year has really been inspiring me to be a better, more thorough educator. And I think what I really got inspired to do when I went on that website was to not just play the teacher and not just be the student in my bedroom at night after my kids have gone to bed, which has been my practice, to do my research, etc., alone. Not really model that for them. What I really got inspired to do is I've seen her sit down and teach some classes and then have her kids get online and do some book clubs. So I've really been inspired to model for my children the fact that I am still learning, and to do it with them, and to, sometimes I complain or think that, oh, my children don't enjoy learning. They don't have the love of learning that I have. Well, am I doing that in front of them? And what kind of atmosphere am I creating in my home to enable them to have a love of learning and share that with them? So a couple of ideas. One, I do think I'm going to take up Latin again. The last time I really studied Latin at all was when I taught Challenge A for Henley for the first part. I looked at Latin, and then I really stopped when I stopped tutoring. So I think I'm going to take up Latin again. I really wish our local junior college had classes because I love the interaction. I know there's some online classes. There's a man, Dwayne Thomas, I believe, who teaches Henley. He does the entire book in 41 weeks. So I don't know if he has classes available. But I have determined to model learning Latin for my children because it is something that I feel like is really important, that we can get into the minds of those classic writers. And I would like to model for them that mommy's doing hard things too. And I'm not just asking them to do it. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, yes. One thing I was inspired to do, I'm not sure if it was from the Ten Boom Institute website or just a culmination of many things, but I just want to pass this idea on to you, and I will hopefully post about it on the blog when I get it done. Filling our home with admirable things. Scripture talks about thinking on those things that are noble, and as an Orthodox Christian inquirer, one of the things that I have really appreciated about church is the lives of the saints and of Christ demonstrated in a visible way with paintings, which we call icons. I see the icons on Sunday and I think, who is that? Is that St. Paul? Who is that? What's going on in there? Who's this guy over here? And it really makes me ask questions about the icons, and then sometimes it's some saint I've never heard of, and I go look that up. I want to know those stories. I have a wonderful icon hanging in my own home of the three martyrs, Faith, Hope, and Love. And because I have three daughters, and they all have names that are very similar to that, I really told them the story, and we read the story of those martyrs and their mother, and we hang that up in our home, and it's a beacon of holiness to them as far as what do they want to model their lives after. It's truth, beauty, and virtue on my wall that we see every day. And so I kind of determined I want to make our home a place where truth, beauty, and virtue are incarnate. So one of the things that I've decided to do is, like, John Adams is one of my husband's favorite founding fathers. We happen to be watching John Adams right now, parts of it, with the children because my older girls are studying American history in depth this year, and I'm just an American history ophile. I don't know the correct name. So what I did is I ordered a small bust of John Adams off of Amazon. It's just a little ceramic bust. And my plan is, my husband's favorite quote of his is the extensive quote about teaching my son, I study this so my sons can study that. So I will be printing off a picture of John Adams, that famous, I think he has a famous halfway finished black and white sketch of himself, framing that, putting it next to the bust, and having a copy of his quotation. I even have some vinyl sticker paper that I could do, like have just a special space on the wall, where I want to honor him for a certain period of time in our home and really give the children a sense of who this man was. I know part of it was that I was reading I believe the book Amusing Ourselves to Death, and I believe that was it. And he talked about how a president, before our modern age, a president might be walking down the street, you might be walking next to him, and you wouldn't know him to look at him necessarily. A man was known by his words. A man was known by his words. Now, if that doesn't convict you, on one hand, as you look at your own life and inspire you, I don't know what will. I know it very much convicted and inspired me. Can you imagine living in a society where you were known by your words, or I was known by my words? Sometimes our children are a great reflection of our words, aren't they? As they say things like, "Can't you see I'm on the phone?" to their brother or whatever, but not to be Debbie Downer. But I was really inspired to bring an incarnation of the people that I want my children to admire into my home. And of course, we have Christ in our home, and we read Scripture every day, and He is the ultimate. He is the author and finisher of our faith, and He is the one that we fix our eyes upon. But there are other people in the world that I feel like we're a generation without heroes, and I don't want my children to be a generation without heroes. I want them to be statesmen and lawyers and evangelists and world changers. So at any rate, that's just an idea for you. Um, I guess that's it. So I'm not even sure what I'll title this one. I guess I'll just talk about the Ten Boom Institute and that wonderful family. And I do hope that you check out their websites. Thanks so much.